You must have seen the smileys, colorful and stylized flowers. The artist behind Kanye West's album cover, Graduation, directed and animated Billie Eilish You Should See Me in a Crown music video, while having collaborations with massive fashion brands like Supreme, Louis Vuitton, Uniqlo, Crocs, and Vans. Takashi Murakami, a Japanese artist whom widely recognized for his ability to merge the aesthetics of Japanese traditional art and fine art with pop culture. He is considered as Japan's most famous pop art artist. Now, what exactly is pop art? Although the term pop art is usually associated with the work of artists working in New York in the 60s, such as Andy Warhol and Roy Lichtenstein, pop art was first introduced in the United Kingdom a decade earlier. Whilst recovering from World War II alongside a bankrupt population, the nation's artists looked west toward the new consumerist paradise being advertised in the thriving United States. Amidst a post-war socio-political climate from which many artists moved towards celebrating ordinary objects and elevating the daily life with fine art. As early British pop art artists such as Richard Hamilton, Eduardo Paolozzi, and Peter Blake began to borrow heavily from this marketing language of post-war Americana. This has started a significant movement away from the traditional parameters of what make up art. This departure from tradition also extended into new ways like commercial screen printing and collage. Their work also often was intricately linked to the energetic pop music scene, which arose around the same time in Britain, marketed by bands such as the Rolling Stones and the Beatles. For example, let's review on I Was a Rich Man's Plaything by Eduardo Paolozzi. This artwork is a collage which consisted of selection of images from American magazines given to Paolozzi by American ex-soldiers in Paris. It was then created as part of a series noted to encourage the beginnings of the pop art movement. I Was a Rich Man's Plaything is credited as the first to use the American advertising to create a new visual language for a post-war world. Other pop art artworks to have influenced the early of his era were Just What It Is That Makes Today's Home So Different, So Appealing by Richard Hamilton and On the Balcony by Peter Blake. Carry on with the characteristics of what makes a certain artwork part of the pop art movement. The movement's unique style often has bold colors in its artworks, while also featuring everyday subjects, humor, and repetition. Pop art also merges high with low culture along with textual and technological elements. Key features of pop art that can help identify the style were celebrities, imagery, and timeless or cultural references. So, let us decode pop art with its 8 characteristics and elements. There's a way to identify a piece of artwork as part of the pop art movement. With recognizing its distinct key elements, there are certain aspects you can look for to determine if an artwork is to be considered as pop art. The first element to look for is the artwork's visual impact. Pop art often heavily relies on bold and vibrant colors that can instantly catch the eye or viewer's attention to be drawn towards it. So as for this movement, you have to look for pieces that utilize or make use of its vivid color palettes to make a statement. Some of pop art examples with high visual impact can be seen in Andy Warhol's Marilyn diptych. The repetition and bold colors make a strong visual impact that reflects Warhol's fascination with the commodification of fame. Subject matter. Pop art artwork consists of the subject rooted in everyday objects, celebrities, cultural icons, or consumer goods. Pop art most definitely takes these relatable elements and elevates them into the realm of art. The most frequent celebrities to have been featured are Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, which reflect their status as cultural icons. Humor and satire. To evaluate whether the artwork showcases satire, irony, or a playful tone to joke on consumer culture, celebrity worship, or even societal norms, This element then adds depth to the visual impact of the artwork. To further analyze this element, let's take a look at Willems de Kooning's artwork, particularly the Woman series. He uses bold colors and simplified imagery to critique the consumer culture and celebrity worship. Repetition and mass production. This element examines if the artist uses repetition of motifs, which often resemble mass production processes. This particular method questions the concept of uniqueness and it screams past era's industrialization. Blurring high and low culture. This element looks for a fusion of highbrow and lowbrow cultural references, which reflects the movement's goal of making art even more accessible to a wide and diverse range of audiences. Text and typography. For this element, it is often the use of bold typography or some kind of text within the artwork. Pop art frequently contains phrases and words to further enhance its message and commentary. Technological influence. This element of pop art has been used to consider whether the artwork inserts modern techniques such as digital manipulation or even screen printing, which were essential to the movement's aesthetic growth. The last element of pop art is timelessness and relevance. This element is to ask whether the certain artwork's themes and its concepts should remain relevant today. Pop art's enduring appeal is usually granted for its ability to resonate with present audiences through generations. Now back to Takashi Murakami. Born on February 1st, 1962 in Tokyo, Japan, Takashi Murakami used to study Japanese painting at the Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music, where he had received his Bachelor of Fine Arts degree in 1986. He had also completed his PhD in 1993. After he had completed his studies, he increasingly displayed his works in group and solo exhibitions, then making his European debut in 1995 in Transculture. The exhibition was held at the 46th Venice Biennale. Trained in traditional Japanese art, Murakami saw correlations between the flat composition, that of Japanese painting, and the simplified aesthetics of Japanese anime and manga. With these findings, he then masterfully blends Japanese aesthetics with Western pop culture through his super flat movement. This movement specifically focuses in flattening distinction between high and low culture. An example of Takashi Murakami's artwork is Melting DOBD. This painting made in 2001 is well known and features Murakami's alter ego, that is Mr. D.O.B., which is a Mickey Mouse-like figure that distorted and kind of melting in vibrant range of pattern. In the aspects of pop art, like I had mentioned, this painting has a cartoon iconography, which is Mr. D.O.B. This character mirrors pop culture mascot like Mickey Mouse that's centered to pop art's fascination to consumer imagery. This artwork also has its industrial finish and graphic flatness with its smooth acrylic surfaces that hides obvious brushstrokes while projecting a mechanical and multimedia aesthetic. Lastly, Mr. D.O.B. also showcased the high and low cultural mix. This artwork bridges traditional Japanese art methods and Western consumer icons, which is a deliberate pop art fusion. In conclusion, Mr. D.O.B. reveals Murakami's mastery of using pop art elements in his artworks, with its bold colors, cartoon references, and commercial process. These prove how Takashi Murakami reimagined his take on pop art through Japanese animation aesthetics and the super flat view of his.